Hello, brothers, and welcome to the Region R Leadership Mini-Series. My name is Josh Barber. I am the just previous Section R1 chair, and today I wanted to talk to you all about chapter bylaws. So today's webinar is going to answer three major questions about bylaws, which are going to be why do you need bylaws? What needs to be in them? And most importantly, what are bylaws? So we're going to start with what are bylaws? Bylaws are the constitution of your organization. Every single level of Alpha Phi Omega has their own set of bylaws. Today is going to be focused on your chapter bylaws because those are going to be the ones you interact with the most and also the ones you have the most immediate control over. But I do want to call out that your section has bylaws, our region has bylaws, and the national bylaws are all written by and must be approved by active brothers. Alumni volunteers can put forward measures, but everything must be voted on by the active brotherhood at national convention. Similarly, any changes to any of the other levels have to be voted on by active brothers and or their voting delegates. So important things that need to be in your bylaws. As a chapter, your bylaws should include at least some of these. The name of your chapter, the purpose, which you can take directly from the national bylaws, an open membership policy. APO, of course, doesn't discriminate for membership, and that must be a part of your bylaws, and a high-level outline of the officer roles you're going to have in your chapter and the duties that are going to be assigned to each of those offices, including their requirements. You should also develop your rules and include in your bylaws what your meetings look like, where they will be held, if that's the same semester to semester, or what kind of room they'll be in. Elections, when you'll hold elections, how they'll be conducted, and who will do the counting and the determination of who's won elections. Your finances, you want to talk about who has responsibility. You want to have some defined rules about approvers and checks on your finances. You're going to want to outline your discipline policy. Unfortunately, we run into issues where brothers violate bylaws or participate in conduct that endangers the welfare of the chapter, and you should be able to outline that process in your bylaws. So when and if you run into a situation where you need to discipline a brother, you have a procedure in place. You must include and outline our zero tolerance of hazing, which of course is one of those disciplinary actions that you would run into. Broader risk management policy. You're going to want to talk about how your chapter mitigates risk, certain procedures and outlines around making sure that your chapter does not run into any unnecessary risks. Other chapter policies, this could be anything you need. It could be around a specific event. It could be around any number of chairs or traditions that you want codified. And then perhaps most importantly, after you've finalized bylaws, is you want to have rules on how to change them. So having how your bylaws can be amended within your bylaws is going to be really important because these documents need to evolve with your chapter. Why do we need bylaws? So besides that, we say it's required and you need them as part of becoming and remaining an active chapter, your bylaws are also going to be an invaluable resource. I mentioned it in the previous slide, but they're going to answer questions on how you should do certain things. They're going to specifically assign responsibilities to different brothers, different organizations within your chapter, and they can be really vital when you inevitably have to resolve disputes. So how do you make bylaws? We have some great examples online on apo.org and on the officer portal. You'll be able to see what bylaws exist for your chapter already and examples of our national bylaws updated at the last national convention, and also the template bylaws. You're going to want to seek input from brothers on what they want to see in bylaws. You're probably here either because you don't have some in place or because you want to change what's already written there. So getting input, discussing those things is going to be really important to getting a consensus around your bylaws. If you have existing bylaws on the book, use your amendments to change them. You have to follow your own bylaws to change your bylaws. I know that can seem kind of redundant, but we don't want you or any other brother coming back and saying that changes were made in a way that is not in line with what you set out to be. And you got to vote on it. You got to use what's already in place or the model bylaws or Robert's rules to conduct a vote to make sure that your bylaws are approved by a majority of the chapter. What if I need help writing or changing my bylaws? You're going to want to ask one of these excellent alumni volunteers because they're here to help you. Luke Langer is your leadership development chair. He's the one who put these on for you all, and your section chairs. You can ask any of these volunteers with help. They'll be overjoyed to be of service to you and helping you out and getting the best bylaws you can get. Lastly, I want to thank you all for attending today. You're welcome to reach out to me as well if you have any questions, and I wish you all the best as you dispense leadership, friendship, and service.